पिक्चर ट्यूब थी, बड़ी बल्कि सी थी, कॉन्वेक्स किस्म की। फिर उसके बाद आप देखें धीरे धीरे ये लेट 1990s में फ्लैट स्क्रीन टीवी शुरू हो गया। दैट वाज आल्सो समथिंग, भाई बड़े बड़ी कमाल की चीज है। अनडिस्टॉर्टेड पिक्चर है, बिल्कुल सीधी। अदरवाइज जो कॉन्वेक्स पिक्चर ट्यूब थी उसमें काफी जो है डिस्टॉर्शन होता था इमेज में। एंड ग्रेजुअली वी सी दैट LCD TV and LED TV and plasma TV, and you know there are so many what you may call as value additions, and the smart TV. You getting me?
Yes, sir.
और फिर टेलीविजन का जो साइज है वो भी बढ़ता चला गया। वो पहले वो 21 इंच के टीवी आते थे, छोटे से 21 इंच के, और लाइक दैट। थोड़ा सा भी बड़ा टीवी होता तो सोचते थे लोग कि भाई बहुत बढ़िया टीवी है, तो बड़ा है। लेकिन अब जो है 55 इंच का टीवी भी होता है तो लोग कहते हैं हाँ ठीक है, इट्स ओके, है ना। कितने लोग हैं जिनके घरों में एक दीवार को ही टीवी बना रखा है, पूरी पूरी वॉल है, एंड इट हैज बीन कन्वर्टेड इनटू टेलीविजन। या प्रोजेक्टर से प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हैं, घर में एक वॉल है जो है दैट हैज बीन कन्वर्टेड इनटू अ स्क्रीन, एंड योर सैटेलाइट is connected, your dish is connected to the projector, and you have the theoretical or the theater kind of thing, the home theater kind of thing, है कि नहीं? Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
And gradually what happens, that the television watching habits of people have taken a beat. The time which people were giving to the television has suddenly been diverted to the smartphone. There is no comparison actually. What has happened? क्या हुआ कि टेलीविजन जैसी चीज से आप स्मार्टफोन पे आ गए। There are two different product categories. क्या बात हो गई? What has happened?
Internet revolution.
Okay, good. What else?
It's a variety of content.
Variety of content.
Sir, it's
Yes.
compact and
It
he
is
can
compact.
take it anywhere.
It is convenient. It is portable. Very good. Portability, convenience. And now what you see, even on the television, you have a choice what you want to watch and what you don't want to watch. Amazon Prime है और दुनिया भर के चैनल्स अलग अलग वो आ गए। आप जो चीज चाहे वो देखिए, सब्सक्रिप्शन लीजिए and you watch it, isn't it? So basically, why it has happened, how people were able to switch over from TV to a handheld device like a smartphone, primarily because the phone is now serving that, it is being able to fulfill the need for infotainment. वो जो नीड थी वो जो टीवी से पूरी हो रही थी वो अब मोबाइल फोन पूरी कर रहा है आपकी। इस पे आप मूवीज देख रहे हैं, इसमें आप अपना काम कर रहे हैं, इंफॉर्मेशन है, न्यूज है, एंड देयर इज सो मेनी थिंग्स दैट यू कैन डू, इजंट इट? सो जो बेसिक नीड है वो ये फुलफिल कर रहा है, इसीलिए इसने टीवी को एक तरह से रिप्लेस कर दिया है। डू यू एग्री विद मी?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
जबकि सेल फोन क्या है, इट इज अ कम्युनिकेशन डिवाइस। उसका बेसिक जो फंक्शन है वो यही है कि आप बातचीत कर लें, किसी से बात कर लें, कॉल कर लें। लेकिन द मोमेंट इट हैज बीन मेड कंपैटिबल विद द इंटरनेट and the internet proliferation, availability of network, and the touch screen the Android technology, the way we used to look
अरे
at
वो टिश्यू उसने
ourselves.
रिक्वेस्ट किया था, निदान के रिक्वेस्ट किया था।
कोई लेके आया?
हाँ
नहीं लेके आया।
आया, पेपर आई, कंफर्मेशन। हाँ
आया तुझे हमने कितना दिन से
Please mute your mic.
मैं काम करो, ये रिक्वेस्ट आया था, कार्टन उसके लिए भेजा है, उसको डिपार्टमेंट
इसके लिए कार्टून आई नहीं।
Yes.
30 पीसेस भेजे,
एक भी नहीं आया।
अभी ऑफिस के लिए कितना है?
ये ऑफिस के लिए मैं इसमें छुपाते रखा है, इसमें सिर्फ
तो बाहर से छुपाते रहता है, बाहर ट्रेनिंग में तो फोन आया था, सामान मार्केट।
भाई जब आप लोग अपनी कोई पर्सनल बात किया कर रहे हैं तो इसको अपना कम से कम म्यूट कर दिया करिए। All right. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So why I'm giving you a recap about these different layers of a product is primarily because when we are entering into the international markets, the core product will remain the same in the different product categories. But there's a lot of scope for, product augmentation or product modification, alterations, depending upon the kind of market which you are entering or which you are, contemplating of entering into. आप लोगों ने अभी ये बार्बी डॉल का केस देखा है. It talks about that how Barbie became a very, very popular and iconic doll in the entire world, yet it faced some of the, toughest challenges in the Middle Eastern countries' markets, primarily because of cultural factors, religious factors, right? So you have already done this case. So some of the basic issues on which we will be basing our discussion is that when we are entering into the international markets, there are two options which are available to us, whether we should go for the product standardization or whether we should go for product adaptation, right? That is the basic thing. And in between, there can be several permutations and combinations. And product standardization primarily means that you have what you call as the, your ethnocentric orientation. A product which is good enough for your home country, you may consider that it is good enough for the rest of the world. That may happen. So you are developing the same product for multiple countries, and it is based on the premise, it is based on, an understanding or an assumption that consumers share some common values, beliefs, and consumption patterns. To a certain extent, this is very true. Again, because of the information technology revolution, because of the exposure to the international media, the consumers who are exposed to the international media, to the international programs, to the international patterns of consumption, so they are, in a way being, they're turning into what you call as the global citizens, or you may also call them as netizens, and they are having some common, values. They're having some common, behavioral patterns, and that is what is making the things very, very, I would say, easy for standardization of products. And because you are serving, or you are trying to offer a common product in the world markets. So it gives you the economies of scale and scope, same kind of advertisement, same common product, price. I mean, you may work out the price based on the purchasing power parity, uniform brand image, all these things, they are in favor of product standardization, right? Maybe some minor, alterations or adaptations, maybe, they may be required, but over and above, the product is standardized, it is common. Are you with me? Are you getting me?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So some of the reasons for product standardization, as you can say, economies of scale, obviously, because if you're making the same product on a large scale, so it will help you in realizing the lower per unit costs that will happen in production, that will happen in research and development, that will also happen in the marketing and communication efforts. Then common consumer needs, depending upon, say, for example, if you are making cars, so depending upon the, say, the market size, the family size in a particular market, you are making big cars or small cars. So that is also, if you're into making the small cars, so that is a different segment altogether. Drinking patterns, maybe, say for example, the soft drinks or the water packaging, the packaged mineral water, for that also, based on the frequency or the consumption of water or soft drinks or other beverages, you can develop the package size. Other reason is consumer retention and loyalty. You want to have a common cadre of consumers across the globe, so that will help in a better customer relationship, or CRM, customer relationship management. For some products, this is a very, very interesting and important thing. The home country image is very, very important. Like, for example, if we talk about the Turkish carpets or the Iranian carpets or the Persian carpets, so the country of origin effect is very, very profound. Similarly, the Banarsi sari from India or other such handicrafts. So in such a case, one has to look at the country of origin effect, and that's why you need to keep that common, that the product should be more uniform, and it basically is selling on the premise that it belongs to or it comes from a particular place. You have an example of US jeans, French perfumes, champagne, or so many other things are there. Or, some people, the Medina dates or dates from Tunisia, like that. Right? And then the impact of technology also, the business to business markets. Generally, we are talking about the standardized products. The other alternative is product adaptation, that is modifying the product as per the needs and requirements of individual markets. So this is something which goes with what you call as polycentric orientation, right? The believing, and which is very much true, that the consumers across the globe, they are different, they have different needs, they are culturally different, they are different in terms of religion, they are different in terms of languages, they are different in terms of food habits, they are different in terms of the sense of dressing, they are different in terms of situations and so things. So in such a situation, there is a need to modify the product and come as close as possible towards what you may call as tailor making or customizing the product as per the needs and wants of individual customers. So it is basically, the advantage is there's an improved fit between product and consumer, and which leads to an expanded penetration into the market. I mean, it gives you a greater reach into the market because you are trying to make products as per their requirements. Like, for example, I'll share with you some advertisements also, inshallah. Say, in the Middle Eastern markets, besides the burger, the Mac burger, which McDonald's sell, it also sells certain sandwiches and wraps which are as per the Arab taste. There is a falafel sandwich like that. There's a shawarma wrap which McDonald's tries to sell in order to be more, closer to its customers, right? In the Middle Eastern markets, where such kind of products are preferred, where you have a clientele for such kind of products. So product adaptation makes sense when you expect that if you will make some changes or some adaptation, some modifications in the product, then it will yield the desired benefits in terms of greater market share, in terms of greater market penetration, in terms of greater customer base. So when such kind of results are expected, so a company, an organization may undertake modifying its products as per the local needs. Now, there are certain mandatory, or what you may call as compulsory, product adaptations. Sometimes the product adaptations are because of the governmental regulations. There are certain laws, certain statutes by the government. So one has to, follow that. Accordingly, you have, come up with products which fulfill those basic obligations, whether in terms of the cars or other automobiles, or maybe some security features or safety features which you have to incorporate as per the government regulations. Like, for example, now in the Indian markets, you have the Bharat 6 images. Soon after the Bharat 4 stage, the engines have become Bharat 6 compliant, right? There is no Bharat 5, right? So in between, immediate. So accordingly, whatever new cars that are being marketed into the Indian markets, they have to be compliant with the standards which have been set up by the government, right? Technological consideration in terms of voltage, level of technology, infrastructure, right? So depending upon, even if you remember, in here in India, we generally have the circular holes in case of the plugs. If you want to plug in something, there's a circular hole. But in most of the other countries which I have seen, whether in the Middle Eastern countries or European countries, you have the square. They're not holes. There are square sockets. So if you buy something from there for your personal use and you bring it here in India, so you need to buy an adapter. So that is one thing. And there are so many other, what you may call as adaptations which are there, which have to be, based on technological or even other, levels of infrastructure. You have to make such changes. Cultural imperatives, we have already discussed it in case of the Barbie doll case study, based on culture. So many things. Like, for example, it is compulsorily, and it is obviously because of the culture that in most of the Middle Eastern countries, there is one common, in most of the restaurant, you'll find that there's one common dining area, and then there is a separate family dining place. If you are moving, if you're going with your family, so you will automatically go into the family. You will be directed into the family dining area. So that is a part of their culture. Then measurement standards. There are different types of systems. In some cases, the weight is mentioned in terms of pounds. In some cases, it is mentioned in terms of kilograms, right? So accordingly, you have to, mention it on the labeling, on the product, on the packaging, outside packaging and all. Some other than mandatory reasons for the product adaptation you can find. One is the climate. There is a difference between the air conditioning equipments in the Middle Eastern markets and the, say, if you talk about the US air conditioning equipment or the Indian air conditioning equipments. What we find that based on the climate, based on the geography of the place, so the air conditioning equipments, they are made in order to to be tolerant to the climatic rigors of that particular place. Some places, like for example in the desert kind of a place, like say Kuwait is in a place which is right in the middle of the desert, right? So the people out there, they face a lot of sandstorms, so their air conditioning equipments are more robust. They are made in order to withstand such kind of onslaughts from the sandstorms, right? So that is their thing. Similarly, based on the skill levels of the users, depending upon the different level of skill sets, people who are living in the very poor countries or third world countries, naturally their computer skills are very different, and maybe very few people have the computer literacy. So the computer or the machine is made more user friendly, more easy to use, right? Similarly, then you also have like for example, in many countries it is by it's because of the habit where people are how they use a particular product. So based on their habits, a particular product is modified accordingly, like the front loading washing machines or the top loading washing machines, right? Although now we find that there's a choice. I mean, this choice is available in most of the markets. This is one, washing machines is just one example, but otherwise, I mean, this is this is open. And although in most of the European countries, people prefer the front loading washing machines, whereas if I talk about our Indian market, the general preference goes for the top loading washing machine. From you just open the flap and then put in the clothes into the washing machine and do the washing, whereas the front loading washing machine, we are still not very comfortable with that idea, right? And then government regulations on products and packaging, the color scheme and the writing, especially in most of the countries, they want to be very, very transparent. So they want every particular detail about the product to be mentioned, and it should be mentioned in at least in English and the local language of that country. So that's very, very important, right? So that's what we have. This is just a recap. I'll not go into that. So some of the, this is one example. I mean, this just shows that there are, one is a straight extension. That means the firm adopts the same policy used in its home market based on the ethnocentrism. So it straight away extends the same product into the international market without giving it a second thought, without thinking that product adaptation would be a better idea. The next step is going for product adaptation. The company caters to the needs and wants of its foreign customers or international customers, right? And one strategy which is over and above these two approaches is that the firm designs the product from scratch for its international customers, something which is completely new, something which is not sold in its home market or in any other market. So it is trying to develop something especially for its international clientele. Similarly, when we talk of advertising and promotion decisions, again the question is that whether to standardize or adapt, right? Same. Now let me give you a simple example, right, before we wind up today's discussion. Are you with me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let us take the case of the two soft drink giants, Pepsi and Coca-Cola. They are the most popular drinks in the international markets. All over the world, everybody knows Pepsi and Coke, right? Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now, what exactly is the difference between the two? क्या difference है? अगर marketing के points से देखें, क्या difference है? मुझे तो ये दोनों beverages बिल्कुल एक सी लगती हैं taste में.
Sir, they promoted the one who brand your product.
Okay.
Sir, because Coke use most of the celebrities and Pepsi doesn't use many.
In fact, Pepsi uses the celebrities in its advertisements, right? And not just celebrities. आपने कभी देखा कि पेप्सी के एडवर्टीजमेंट में अमिताभ बच्चन आया हो? किसी को याद हो? नहीं, कौन पता है?
यंग सेलिब्रिटीज.
यस, बिल्कुल सही. किसी जमाने में आमिर खान आते थे, ऐश्वर्या राय आती थी, फिर शाहरुख खान आए. अब ये भी थोड़ा से उम्र दराज हो गए तो रणबीर कपूर, दीपिका पादुकोण आ गए. उसके बाद मैं बहुत जमाना हो गया कुछ एडवर्टीजमेंट्स देखे हुए. So very true. Actually, Pepsi is more about, it is all about what you call as youthfulness, right? Pepsi is a lifestyle product. It is not just a soft drink. It is a lifestyle product which tries to, it sells the idea of being young, youthfulness. As against this, Pepsi का क्या वो है? What is the selling USP of, or the unique selling proposition of Coca-Cola?
Sir, they prefer adventure. Their advertisement based on adventure.
Coca-Cola?
Yes, sir.
Anybody differs?
So Coca-Cola is for the good times.
Good. Very good. Coca-Cola talks about celebration. It talks about the good times, occasions. आप देखेंगे कोका-कोला के एडवर्टीजमेंट्स दिवाली पे आ जाएंगे, होली पे आ जाएंगे, कोई भी सेलिब्रेशन हो, ईद है, क्रिसमस है. So उनके एडवर्टीजमेंट्स the world over, they are the same. They have the same theme, open happiness, right? So they're not talking about the taste of this soft drink. Everybody knows it is there for over a century. They talk about the happiness, celebration, togetherness. Right? So that is how, on a perceptual scale, in the mind of the consumers, the two products are differentiated. They're not differentiated on account of taste. Nothing of that sort. One is on the basis of the youthfulness, the other is selling on celebrations, right? Occasions. Okay. So both of these products, अगर आप इनके advertisements देखें, चाहे वो Indian advertisements हो, चाहे वो advertisements पाकिस्तान के हो, चाहे वो European advertisements हो, you will find that there's a common thread, there's a common theme which runs into their campaigns, and you will be easily able to identify. That is what I'm talking about, that their communications are standardized, same kind of color schemes, everything, even the fonts, the way the font is being used, whether it is, आपको अरबिक में कोका कोला लिखा हो, इंग्लिश में कोका कोला लिखा हो, कोई भी हो, जिसको अरबिक नहीं भी आती वो देख के समझ जाएगा. रशियन में कोका कोला लिखा हो, वो उसके फॉन्ट को देखकर कि द वे एंड द कलर स्कीम रेड एंड व्हाइट, वो समझ जाएगा. पेप्सी का कलर क्या है, ब्लू एंड रेड, उससे समझ जाएगा. यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? यस, डू यू एग्री?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll talk about more of it, whether to standardize or adapt the advertisements, what are the different ways of effective communication messages for the different market segments, the media selection, and the budget. All these things we have already, I'm sure you are aware of the concept of what you call as integrated marketing communications. Can anybody tell me? Before we wind up today's discussion, excuse me. What is integrated marketing communications? बताइए. Have you come across this term when you were doing marketing management? Integrated marketing communications. Yes? Anybody from the class? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Have you heard about integrated marketing communications, Abhishek?
Sure, I don't remember actually.
Okay, no issues, no issues. No problem. Okay, I'll just give you a clue. I'm sure you have already done it. Now, when we talk about the communication, there are so many different elements of communication. One is your television, right? I mean, these are different media. One is, the broadcasting. You have the internet, you have public relations and publicity, you have direct marketing, you have sales promotions. So these are the different elements of what you call as a communication mix. ना ऐसा जैसे कि आपके जैसे कहते हैं कि वो कितने आपके पास तीर हैं अलग अलग तरह के, हर किसी की एक अलग खासियत है. एडवर्टाइजिंग है तो उसकी अपनी खासियत है. इट गोज टू, उसकी जो रीच है, इट गोज टू सो मेनी पीपल, राइट? वन मीडियम एंड इट इज रीचिंग आउट टू सो मेनी पीपल. इंटरनेट के जो एडवर्टीजमेंट्स हैं उसकी खासियत ये कि वो इंटरेक्टिव है, राइट? इंटरेक्टिविटी है उसके अंदर। न्यूज़पेपर्स हैं, उसमें देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ स्कोप फॉर डिटेल्ड मैसेजेस, या वो मैगजीन्स में हैं। बिलबोर्ड्स हैं, उसकी एक अलग अहमियत है। रेडियो है, सो रेडियो इज लाइक इट इज अ मीडियम वाइल ऑन द गो। आप कार चला रहे हैं, ऑफिस से घर जा रहे हैं, आपने एफएम चला रखा है, उसमें मैसेजेस आ रहे हैं लोकल, कोई स्कीम्स हैं, मे बी अबाउट डोमिनोज पिज्जा, मैकडोनल्ड्स और वट एवर, जो भी लोकल आपकी जो मार्केट है अलीगढ़ के से रिलेटेड मैसेजेस आ रहे होंगे लाइक दैट। Okay, I'll ask other people to join. All right. So, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we were talking about integrated marketing communications. We were talking about the different elements of the communication mix. जैसे कि आप ये जानते हैं, जैसे कि एक ऑर्केस्ट्रा होता है ना, इट इज एन एग्जाम्पल विच इज गिवन, कि उसमें पियानो भी है, फ्लूट भी है, तबला भी है, गिटार भी है, सितार भी है, ड्रम्स भी हैं, देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स। पर उन सब की जो ट्यून है ना, धुन जो है, वो एक कॉमन थीम होता है ना। सब एक कॉमन थीम के पर जब बजते हैं तो वो कहलाती म्यूजिक, वो कहलाती है कि भाई एक कॉमन म्यूजिक बज रही है ना। एक गाना बज रहा है तो उसमें आपको पता चला कि पीछे सब बैकग्राउंड में सारे जो वाद्य होते हैं, यंत्र होते हैं, वो बज रहे होते हैं, लेकिन एक एक धुन पर बज रहे होते हैं। उसमें कोई ऐसा नहीं लगता, ऐसा नहीं लगेगा कि तबला कहीं और बज रहा है, सितार कहीं और बज रहा है, गिटार कहीं और बज रहा है ना। अगर ऐसा होने लगे तो आप अपने कानों में रुई उंगलियां डाल लें, रुई ठूस लें कि ये क्या हो रहा है। लेकिन जब एक कॉमन ट्यून पर चलते हैं तो आपको वो म्यूजिक लगती है, यू कॉल इट सिम्फनी, आपको वो अच्छा लगता है सुनने में। यू गेटिंग मी?
Yes, sir.
सिमिलरली मार्केटिंग में भी क्या है, जब कम्युनिकेशन है तो उसमें जो एडवर्टाइजिंग है, जो उसका मैसेज है, वो I mean that that message should carry in each and everything, in each and every element of the communication mix. आप एडवर्टीजमेंट में कह रहे हैं किसी प्रोडक्ट के लिए या अपने रेस्टोरेंट के लिए, द फ्रेंडली प्लेस टू बी इन, और वहां के जो मैनेजर आप कभी जाए या वहां का जो स्टाफ है वो आपसे सीधे मुंह बात ना करे, तो आपको समझ में लगेगा कि ये क्या कह रहे हैं। इनका एडवर्टीजमेंट कुछ है और इनका बिहेवियर कुछ है। सिमिलरली जो सेल्स प्रमोशन है या डिस्काउंट्स हैं या कोई स्कीम्स हैं, कॉन्टेस्ट हैं, कूपन्स हैं, एवरीथिंग शुड स्पीक द सेम, यू नो, इट शुड कैरी द सेम मैसेज। चाहे वो आपके जो लोगों की यूनिफॉर्म है, जो ड्रेस है, वेदर इट इज द यू नो, अगर आपकी कोई कंपनी की व्हीकल्स हैं, ट्रक्स हैं, on every possible vehicle, which I mean, and I'm talking about the media vehicle which is carrying your message, there should be congruence and consistency. The message should be common and consistent, easy to understand. तब वो integrated marketing communication कहलाता है। So that is the basic idea, and that is what makes communication more effective. And in the present times, when the television has, you know, a limited audience, the media consumption habits have shifted largely in favor of internet, largely in favor of the what you call is the social networking, social websites, whether it is the Snapchat, whether it is the WhatsApp, Facebook, and other things. So accordingly, the media has to be, the media mix has to be adjusted because you have a limited budget. So the job of the media planners is really very, very challenging. They have to understand the media consumption habits of the people across the globe, and especially when we talk about the internet. So now there is no barrier. There is no barrier in terms of the media consumption. What kind of media you are consuming, what websites you are visiting, how much time you are giving, what is the time. Now, another very important thing about the internet is that it is a versatile medium. उसका टाइम नहीं है, आपका टाइम है. पहले होता था कि टेलीविजन का टाइम होता था, उसके हिसाब से आप आके बैठते थे. 9 बजे कौन बनेगा करोड़पति आएगा, सारे सड़कों पे सन्नाटा हो गया, लोग घरों में बैठ गए. आप 9 बजे नहीं देखना चाहते हैं कौन बनेगा करोड़पति, आप आज नहीं देखना चाहते हैं, आप रात में 2 बजे जब फारिग होंगे सब काम से तब आप देखना चाहते हैं. तो इंटरनेट आपको अलाउ करता है उस काम के लिए. इंटरनेट अलाउज यू टू वॉच केबीसी at that time when it is convenient for you. So that is what makes internet a much more it becomes kind of for the biggest choice, the strongest choice for most of the people who have access to internet. So in such situation, as I was talking about, that given the choice of the media, there's a big variety of media that is available, and the different modes or elements of communication mix, it is really very important to come up with communications which are integrated, which are consistent, which are common, and which are very, very clear, so as to reach your target audience. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
आपको मैं एक एग्जाम्पल देता हूं. There was a time, something around I would say the late 90s, 1995 onwards, when there was a brand called as Woodland. I hope you all know about it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It was considered to be a very, very premium brand of shoes to begin with. Later on, they added apparels and other things, shirts, trousers, casuals, jackets, everything was added. Well, it was considered to be one of the most premium brands in India. कोई वुडलैंड के जूते पहनता था तो लोग उसको देखते थे कि भाई वुडलैंड के जूते पहने हुए, because they were very expensive also at that time. But gradually what happened, can anybody guess why? आज के जमाने में कोई वुडलैंड को पूछता नहीं कोई. What is the reason?
More brand have arrived.
Very good. That is one thing. More brands have arrived. What else? You have more choice.
Less marketing, sir.
Not changing their advertising strategy,
Okay. What else?
and their product design is from the 1990s, I would say.
Okay. Good. Very good.
So they were,
Not changing youth.
Yes.
they were very heavy, and the people of now people prefer light shoes that
Okay.
which
Okay. Okay. Fine. That's fine. That's perfectly okay. आपने जो एग्जाम्पल्स और जो भी रीजन दिए, दे आर वेरी मच वैलिड. पर एक बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट रीजन है. maybe because I noticed it
Sir,
as
the
a
lifestyle
student.
of the
Yes.
sir, because the lifestyle of the people is become so advanced, so all of the all people are wearing the brand shoes or brand shoes and branded shoes and branded clothes. So I think because of this, it is not
Okay,
so big
that is
issue
also
for.
there. That is also there.
Sir, because
Amber?
of internet, people
Yes.
now can compare and explore shoes according to
Okay.
their choices.
They can explore. That is fine. They can compare price, they can compare features और all. That is very true. पर उससे अलावा एक और बहुत important reason है जो मैंने notice किया, and I'm sure you'll agree, कि during the late 90s, इधर ये 1998, 1999 and all, there were a lot of discounts which were available on the brand Woodland. अक्सर इसकी दिल्ली में और जगहों पे मेट्रोज में सेल होती रहती थी. So something which is being marketed as a premium product, as a high quality, high priced item, वही चीज सेल में मिल रही है. Are you getting me? तो ये कुछ कंसिस्टेंट नहीं है. मैंने वो जूता शोरूम से खरीदा. मैं अगर जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई टॉक अबाउट द ईयर 2000, और एक जूता मैंने उस वक्त के प्राइस के हिसाब से आप सोचिए, दिस इज द ईयर 2021, 21 साल पहले किसी दुकान पर जाके 2000 रुपए का मैंने जूता खरीदा. उस वक्त 2000 रुपए बहुत होते थे. ठीक है, वही जो है जूता किसी हमारे दोस्त ने लिया, वो सेल से लेगा, वो कह रहा है यार मैं तो जो है 1000 में मिल गया. So what happens? I feel cheated. Isn't it? You're getting its image of being a premium product gets diluted when every other person is wearing the same kind of a product. हर कोई उसको मिल रहा है, वो फेक नहीं पहन रहा, वो ओरिजिनल वुडलैंड पहन रहा है, लेकिन क्या है, उसने उसको सेल से खरीद लिया, उस सेकंड्स में है या कोई भी चीज है. So the image of the product, the brand gets diluted. अगर कोई चीज प्रीमियम है, अगर कोई चीज एक्सक्लूसिव है, तो उसकी एक्सक्लूसिविटी बना के रखनी पड़ेगी. ओके, यू गेटिंग मी?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. सो दिस इज वेयर आई विल लीव यू नाउ. आज काफी लंबा क्लास हो गई, एंड वील मीट टुमारो इंशाल्लाह. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग.